Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn, and I am that's Shawn, and you know we're on a roll as far as making it some steady Mondays here. So for those of you new joining us, welcome, and a couple things just to keep in mind. Remember, I was actually playing around a little bit on my own show site, and wow, you know, I didn't really realize that there were so many shows that are already still up there. And the importance of that being to all of you is that if there's an item number of something that you may like, you can request it either in the comment section to see if it's still in stock, because if you call in to try to purchase it, after it only stays, quote, on memo for so long from the show. So unless I show it again, then it stays for sale for another 3 or 4 weeks. So they may say, well, we don't have any information, or they can tell you if it's been sold. So if it's already been sold, then there's your answer. But if the answer isn't a sold, it may mean it might still be available. So if it's something that you're really wanting, that's another way to be able to shop in Rewind. Also, keep in mind that after every show that you see, everything is kept in stock for 3 to 4 weeks for instant shipping. So the wonderful and very knowledgeable sales reps can really help you, assist you on finding those items, especially if it's in that 3 to 4 window time frame after the show. Let's see. All right, so not many comments, so that part's not going to go very long. We may be able to get in then a couple demonstrations or educational little tidbits that I have been wanting to, but just haven't gotten to. But we also have some really cool pieces to show you also. And as a note for Miss Penny, I'll start this at the beginning so that you know, Miss Penny, that I have found another one of those yellow lepidolites, and I have set it aside. So everybody watching, please respect that part. I'll let you know which one it is. There's a smaller one I'm offering that I don't think between the two, one's more than the other one you were looking at, and one is less than. The one I'm choosing for you is the one that's a little more than. I think you'll like it for the look, and the other one will be open and available. We'll steer everyone in the right order, and everyone has always been so respectful. Since you know it's not a live show, requests are a little difficult to do, but every time we've done one, they've been successful because everybody honors the fact that if a particular piece is for one of our little family unit here, then they will wait to see if that person purchases or not, and then it'll be available. I usually give a couple days after the show for them to get a chance to get it, and then after that, it's wide open for anybody. So if you would allow, I'll remind you when that item comes up. It's something that she'd been looking for and had mentioned, and anyone is welcome to try to do that. For some of the things that you might have now, anything exotic and whatnot, probably not. Like if, I want a sweet home rhodochrosite cluster with tetrahedrite on it, and yeah, that kind of thing. No, but I will come up with some surprises for you. Today's show is a little bit about raising some funds to get my tooth fixed, because we are celebrating the month of June. And why do I segue into the tooth and the month of June together? Well, the 3 birthstones that have been assigned to the month of June are Alexandrite, Pearl. Those are the 2 more traditional ones, and then they've added Moonstone in even though as old as moonstone is, maybe it is one of the old ones, but some of the classic ones, and probably if not the most classic one, is the pearl. Now, alexandrites, if you can afford them, would certainly be a great gift at any time for the birthstone. It just happens to be a lot harder to get, to be able to afford for anything decent. So pearls, though, are a must-have for every woman's wardrobe. And the pearl material that is secreted by the oyster, the nacre, as it's known, is a calcium carbonate, very much like our teeth star. So that is my tie-in to a sale. Yep, a sale. Raise money so that I can secrete nacre and wound and fix the wound I have here for my tooth. You know, I actually had gotten a cap done for that tooth, and the entire thing broke away. You would think and hope there's a warranty, but it all came up right at the beginning of COVID. So do you think I was going to go into a dental place at that time? No, I was just going to wait and see how things worked out. But I think it's all good now. And since all my teeth have fallen out due to COVID, I think it's time to go and try to get some of those things worked out. So we all need calcium carbonate. I had mentioned before to all of you how our bodies are really nothing but minerals, and you know, everything from apatite with our bones, hydroxyapatite, particular type, to you know, carbon and hydrogen, oxygen, our body emitting and creating electricity and generating electricity, and so many neat things going on. Okay, now I can't wait to show you some of the exciting pieces that I have for you, and you're going to get to share something with me at the same time. I have it right here. Now, you see on here it says box and bags. So I didn't open it. For year after year after year. Box and bags. Didn't sound too exciting to me. Not a lot of weight. We're going to it's going to be kind of like Al Capone's vault. And yes, I'm of the age at 62 that I remember well the hype of opening Al Capone's vault that they had found, and how Geraldo Rivera built this huge national interest around this moment of opening the vault. Well, we're going to see if the end result here turns out a little better than his did. Okay, let's bring up the two trivia questions from last week's show. And I write them down exactly as I say them, so we make sure we get everything correct. What is the name of the original part of a crystal that is still left exposed after cutting? So what is the name given to the original part? Could be original face, original, however you want to substitute that word, part of a crystal that is still left after cutting. Now remember, I talked about that a lot. A lot of times that happens when a diamond is being cut right at the 1 carat mark. And so the name of that, it's a well-applied name, is called a natural. In other words, it's a natural face to the original crystal. And here's why you'll see that done and left. Most of the time you'll find it on the girdle. That's the part that goes around the stone. And it is because if they cut that little tiny, oftentimes you can't even see it without a 10 power loop. But if that little area is to be removed, then for the diamond to be symmetrical and not, you know, kind of be out of round as a wobbly wheel, then the entire symmetry of the diamond needs to be cut evenly to make up for that one, what would be a flat spot on the edge of the girdle. Worse though, because you can often disguise it and blend it in, but if you actually take a micrometer and measure it, it would certainly come up and you'd be able to see it. And then on the grading score for cut, it wouldn't be an excellent, certainly. You know, you'd be lucky to get a good, probably still, as long as it's not an eye visible flat spot. So, but here's the worst thing, and why it's not usually removed on diamonds that are right at a carat. Because if they cut that portion out and then have to do it, especially symmetrically around the stone, the rest of it, what does it do? It drops that weight to below a 100. So when you look at what's called the wrap sheet, or the official wholesale grading sheet that we use in the trade to evaluate diamonds by, if you look at the price per carat, let's just say, you know, whatever you want to call it, an HSI2 stone, and you have a 99-point stone, the price per carat on it might be in a wholesale value, let's just say $3,000 a carat at 99 points in that, if it falls in that. And usually the range is from 90 to 99 points, because it's broken down in many categories. If that diamond weighed only 1 point more and was a 100, in other words, a 1 carat, everything being identical, cut, color, clarity, everything being the same, but if it weighed only 1 point more and hit that magic 1 carat mark, the price is at least 10 to 15% higher. So you go from 3,000 a carat to 3,500 to, you know, maybe even close, depending on the color and clarity, closer to upwards of $1,000 more a carat for that one little point difference in weight. And that's why many times that little natural will be left there so as not to interfere with reducing the weight to fall below that 1 carat mark. So they give it a benign sounding name of natural, and it's a natural face, so I'll go along with that name, but it's something that you need to know because it is listed on GIA reports under when they do the inclusions and the plotting of the stone, and they will indicate it and list it as natural. And if you don't actually know the term, you're wondering, well, what does that mean? So there you go. It's plus kind of neat to see because it's the original face of a diamond that was took a long time to create in the earth under tremendous heat and pressure, and brought up through, you know, a very forceful action of usually volcanic eruptions. And so it has a very difficult beginning in life, and the way it is birthed onto the outer portion of the Earth's surface is a very violent action as well. But when it gets here, they can handle a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, and are truly beautiful as accents to colored gemstones, because I am a fan of colored gemstones indeed. Okay, that was question number 1. Question number 2 was Pakistani peridot often has an unusual crystal inclusion in it that is often mistaken for rutile. What is the real name of the inclusion? And I told this story last week when I was working with my Pakistani dealer a number of years ago, and I was looking at the website and the bidding site, and then was actually looking at other places, and it seemed all the Pakistani dealers were listing it with rutile, Pakistani with rutile inclusions, and I thought those two don't go together. That's not rutile. So of course, doing some easy research to discover the fact that no, it's another mineral altogether called Ludwigite. And that's what it is. So when I asked him, I said, you know, what you're listing as the inclusion in the peridot isn't rutile. He said, yes, I know, I know. And he goes, I'm sorry about that. He goes, I know you would know the difference, and so I don't say anything to you. I'm sorry for my imitating the accent. I probably shouldn't do that, but that's the way, after decades of doing business with, you know, everything from Australians, you know, I'll try, I do a terrible Australian accent, to Thai people, to Burmese, to many wonderful Sri Lankans, Indians, Pakistanis, lots of Pakistani, Nigerians, Congolese. I was just thinking, which you're going to get to see something I had got directly from a Congolese mineral dealer. You'll be excited about that. So he said, no, he goes, I put rutile because no, and he just said it like this, he goes, no Americans know what Ludwigite is. And I had to say, well, I got to give you credit for that one. You're right about that. So he goes, it's easier to put rutile, and then they don't ask questions, and I don't have to explain over and over. And I said, understood that as well. And I said, fair enough. I said, everyone should do their own research anyway, and not take someone's word, because there is so many times I have discovered things being not what they are. Another dealer I was working with was real proud. He'd been trying to find a mineral specimen, a big, nice size plate with crystals. So he was really thrilled to show me this one. And his friend who had a booth in Pakistan, so he took pictures of it and sent it to me. And it wasn't 30 seconds, and it wouldn't have taken that longer, except I was zooming in on my camera to make sure I saw what it was I was seeing. And that was a hodgepodge of different crystal specimens that in Mother Nature would never put these together. In other words, they would never be found one associated with the other. I mean, you know, we won't get into it, but I mean, there's primary mineral formation, then there's secondary, there's oxidation zones that create other minerals, and a whole thing. But many times, just one won't go with the other. And I called him out on it. And it was like $1,000 is what he was asking. I called him out and I said, this isn't, oh no, this is, and he because he believed in his friend, and he took his friend's word and then stood up for his friend. I said, and I had already established a relationship with him, and he already knew that I knew a lot about minerals. And I said, listen, I said, go back and ask your friend and look him in the eye and ask him honestly if he knows exactly what he is selling and that it is fraudulent. And so then he got back to me, and he just started right from the very first word apologizing. And he goes, I am so sorry. He goes, it has ruined my reputation at this, apparently it's, you know, like a indoors market that a lot of mineral dealers do business at. And he goes, you know, but my friend, they tossed him out. Because even amongst them, reputation is everything. And, you know, if you hurt one is hurt, then it hurts everyone. And so I was impressed with the way he handled it, and we went on and did business because he accepted it. He didn't take up for his friend, and, you know, his friend paid the price. And, you know, it also, he said, it really hurt my reputation. He goes, because everybody knew I was, you know, representing this for you. And so, but, you know, it was easy to, you know, get past that. But here's my point being this. If you do not know what you are buying, then you can absolutely get taken advantage of. And it would have been, if I didn't know what I knew and know about associated minerals that, you know, are found with other minerals, I could have just as easily paid good money for something and it be absolutely fraudulent. And many times that happens, and it's passed on because until someone is wise enough to step in and catch the error, then it can just be passed on down the line with a profit in each sale. So just a couple little additional stories along the way of many others that I have had in buying across 6 continents, and it all comes back to knowledge. Knowledge is everything. So, all right, we're celebrating June. That's why we sold some Alexandrite cat's eyes the other week. I'm sure they're sold. I didn't see where they've come back. I can't imagine they weren't. But along with that went that cat's eye rubellite that Miss Gabby got. Okay, so those were the questions. Now, between the opting outs and the few comments and the couple that got it wrong, it really didn't give us many choices for the winner. So let's see how that goes. Mr. Harry in Massachusetts. Hey, Shawn and the lovely Raven and the rest of the folks at GSN, as well as my sisters and brothers in Rocks and Minerals. And the first thing you have to do is blow my mind with that nice peridot. He's referring to that one preform of that Burmese peridot that I had polished the table on just real quick and a couple of sides so you could see into it. It is a choice gem. Dang, I pray no one buys it because I have a tailgate rock and mineral show Saturday to go sell my wares, and I made out like a bandit last year, so I pray I can buy it Saturday night. Ooh, the purple fluorite is my favorite. Yeah, that purple one is a special piece. Now, Harry, in answering the questions, I think you had another week mixed up because you had given answers that were relevant to the identification episode I did. So I think you were watching a couple episodes and got them mixed up. So I won't mention the answers because they don't correlate to the show that you just referred to as having the peridot. Good to see that you're watching the shows multiple times. You get even more out of them each time. Thanks, Shawn. God bless you, and may you be blessed much. Harry. Thanks, Harry. Love you, man. Appreciate that. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family. Great show, Shawn. It goes by so quickly. Learn something new every week. Trivia, natural. And number 2, veil. That was a good answer. Veil. Because that Burmese peridot did have a veil. But here's why I write it down. And that would have been, so the question was, Pakistani peridot often has an unusual crystal inclusion in it that is often mistaken for rutile. Well, if you think about that Pakistani peridot, the only thing in it was that veil. So you would have absolutely answered it with the best answer that you could have come up with. But that was for the Burmese peridot that you answered. And the question read, Pakistani peridot. And so we know it was Ludwigite. And, but other than that, you would have done really well on that. Mr. Anthony in Massachusetts says, hello, all, great show. Question, a fellow rockhound gifted me a couple of pieces of Bridewell stone. At the time, I had no idea what it was. I Googled it and found it's made by a couple, Ray and Amy Bridewell. Something about crystal mineralization, gem quality quartz, and temperatures over 200 degrees. I've seen it before, and that it was man-made, so I didn't pay much attention to it. that's a good start. The pieces I have were not made by above mentioned couple. It wasn't a rock, but sure is nice looking material. So I was hoping maybe you could shed a little light on it. Thank you. Trivia: please omit from any prize. Natural, and then gets the Ludwigite right. Eyes down, Anthony. All right, Anthony. Bridewell stone. All right, so we don't talk about or we only in educational purposes talk about synthetics or man-made stones, and I definitely described them and showed you lessons on how to identify them or how to notice or avoid purchasing them. But we don't, other than that, cover it much, except for the relevant ones that you would normally come across. Like I was actually going to show today how to identify turquoise and some of the things about turquoise, so we'll see if we get time to do that. Now, this stone you're talking about, what it is, if anyone else looks it up, is a quartz slab. And it's a quartz slab that by inducing impurities into the silica, you can make it different colors. So there's the start to that. But what is interesting and neat from the point of a crystal lover and someone that loves to, as you saw, we grew crystals on the show. So I love doing homemade crystals, and we're going to do that again, by the way, here soon. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing that and learn along the way also. But this material are amazing crystals that are grown within silica that is augmented to be different colors. The real thing I think that is taking place is you're raising the temperature of the silica, and the silica can be something as simple as optical quartz. So you can get quartz in many different forms, and as it is, or you can get pure silica sand and raise it to the melting temperature of quartz and create your own forms of silica in, whatever you have a mold or form for. Now, I happen to have kilns myself that will go to the melting temperature of quartz, which of course is quite high. For the pure optical grade SiO2, not glass, because glass can be, you can create lead glass, you can create glass that melts at a lower temperature than quartz. But if you're working with quartz, you're talking about a temperature in Fahrenheit of about 3,090 degrees. And up until that point, it becomes unstable along the way. So what can happen is, in the world of quartz, in the crystals, they form in a hexagonal crystal system. Now, you know about polymorphs. Polymorphs are other minerals like kyanite, sillimanite, and andalusite, rutile, brookite. They're all the same identical chemical formula, but because they form a different crystal system, they're called a polymorph. So sillimanite is a polymorph of kyanite, andalusite is a polymorph of kyanite or sillimanite. So same thing that happens to quartz. Quartz can form about 7 different types, and there's more than that, but in the silica we're talking about, what the same exact SiO2 can form, and you're going to be familiar with this word. And it may, I don't know, that would probably make a good trivia question, but I'll go ahead and clue you in. Cristobalite. So at the right temperature, it's a low pressure, high temperature situation, cristobalite will form. Cristobalite, where have you heard that word? In snowflake obsidian. Snowflake obsidian. So obsidian, you know, is volcanic glass. You're talking about high temperatures, low pressure. There's not any pressure as the magma is coming up and then solidifies quickly, creating volcanic glass. And in that glass and in that situation, you have cristobalite that can form. And that is just quartz in a different crystal form. Another one, tridymite. Yep. It sounds like something nuclear, but tridymite is another form of quartz. It actually has 7 variations of its own, and these words are other words that are assigned to the different forms of quartz, the polymorphs of it. And when you go and look at these other forms of quartz, or you look at tridymite itself, and then you look at the crystals that are formed within this type of glass that these people are making, I think that that's what's happening. I think that they are crystallizing other forms of quartz within the quartz itself. And it's I can reach those temperatures that they are hitting to create and melt their own slabs and create their own different colors, and kind of makes me curious to try it myself now. So if you ask, you know, that is my supposition from the knowledge I have without rooting around any further, but I think that that's what's going on. When you look at those, tridymite, if you look at the crystal shapes it's found in, it looks like snowflakes. Cristobalite sometimes does too, right? But they're a little bit different. Tridymite and has a great snowflake pattern. Those inclusions that have those really neat spray patterns in the quartz that they're man-making, they look like snowflakes. And remember, there's the thing about no two snowflake crystals are the same, which is pretty much a true fact. Same thing it kind of looks like here. It looks like it just keeps forming different shapes of its own self, which tridymite does as well. Tridymite has many different other forms that it is found in. So just a thought as to what I think is going on there. And of course, you know, as long as it's inexpensive enough and fun to play around with, then, you know, and you enjoy it, it certainly makes beautiful pieces of cabochones. And, you know, look it up, anybody, if you want to. And it's just great to educate yourself in that realm of man-made, just so, if no other reason, someone doesn't try to sell you something that looks like that in a cabochon as something genuine. Because if you look at the crystals, they look a lot like the dumortierite in the quartz, and those are cut into cabochons and whatnot. So many ways to be fooled, remember. And so great question and educational little thing for everybody to learn about the Bridewell stone. So look it up and marvel it and learn what to avoid as far as something man-made goes. All right, Miss Elisa in Florida. Hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rock family. I'm so sorry I missed last week. My kids are out of school for the summer, and we've been busy. Glad to hear that everyone is doing well and had a good Memorial Day weekend, honoring those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Congratulations on the win, Miss Gabby. My answers to this week's question are naturals and Ludwigite. Very good. My favorite item of the week was the baculite. Have a great week, everyone. Yeah, that baculite was really different than usual, and I don't think I'd ever shown one in this show. Mr. Charles in Oregon. Ciao, Rockhounds. There were some very beautiful specimens this week. It's time for Heidi and me to sit down and create a list of items we'd like to try to purchase that'd be cool. Thanks for going into such depth on the cephalopod fossil, aka baculite. That was really interesting. It's my day off tomorrow, Thursday, and I'm very excited to be making cabochones and maybe get a load in the tumbler or get the vibratory flat lap going. Do both. Get them all going. Oh my goodness, flat lap and you're not keeping that thing going, or a tumbler? I hope you all find time this week to be creative, be it of the lapidary flavor or otherwise. Have a great week. With love, Charles. And lots of love back at you, Charles, and we really do appreciate it. And you know, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Harry that first started using the word love, but you know, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having a little bit more love in all of our hearts. Question: natural is the name for the original part of a crystal that is still left exposed after cutting. Boy, I couldn't have said it better myself. Question 2: the inclusion in Pakistani peridot that is often mistaken for rutile is ludwigite. Excellent way to answer those. So excellent. All right, now, that said, we only had a couple of people that qualified. Anthony, I almost think I should throw you back in the hat there, even though you opted out. And Charles, he's already won recently so many times. And let me, well, you know what? That just does not leave... I know this person's probably saying, I know he's going to say it. I know he's going to say it. Let me just look at the other week's information here. And yeah, that only leaves one person to be the winner. That would be you, Miss Alisa. Miss Alisa in Florida, you are the winner. And let's show you what you have won. This is something really cool, and it is, I don't know, this is the way I think. When I see a specimen and I have something else that I'm not sure what to do with, I will create a display out of it. You have, look at this, the size of this. So Brazilian tangerine quartz, and I am throwing in, look at this. This is Australian opal. Australian opal, and it is a preform. So it has not been fully polished, but it has been, look at this, look at the greens on that, but it has been preformed, and you look at this, so you can see that wonderful green sheet fire on this side of it, and then you can see the banding of color. Miss Elisa, I think you actually do cut stone. See, things go to the right place. Look at how thick that color bar is on this top side. So with a color bar that thick, you can look at that on the bottom side. You can easily create a dome, even if it's just a slight dome, is better than no dome, better than just a flat surface. So a little bit of dome to that, and you'll be able to really pick up on, look at those colors. Look at those colors in there. If there's any crazing in it, I wouldn't worry about it. I just would keep cutting it anyhow, and it would allow you to have a wonderful, wonderful piece that is great for wire wrapping or just to display in the middle. Look at those colors in there. Look at those colors. And that is not even polished whatsoever. Look at the other side. So this, a double side, definitely. Put a slight dome to both sides, plenty of thickness to do it, neat freeform. And then here we go on this. So it's a fun Brazilian tangerine quartz crystal. You can display it several different ways, but I thought it looked pretty good, just the way it was holding that opal, like so. Or think about it out of the box as well. Any of your other specimens, and put them, make them into their own display for other pieces. All right, let me put these away, and I'll be right back with the start of the show. All right, so once I could get past the guys laughing at me, you know, for doing this, I said, you're going to find out. You're going to see what it's all about, because I have never had the opportunity to bring something so cool and innovative, especially if you're going to give it away as a gift to another rockhound. I doubt it, though, because you'll probably keep it for yourself, because the chance to find another one is 1 in 1 something bazillion. All right. Look at this. So what has happened is, this is you may have recognized the bottom section, a piece of that amazing Brazilian apatite, okay? Now, you can picture the other, sides to the six-sided crystal. This happens to be another crystal that I had, and it has outstanding colors in it. Look at those rich blues that you can see penetrating into this piece. And so, yeah, if you want, look at how deep that goes, that color goes. Wow, thank you, sir. So if you want to slice off some of this, if you have a saw, you can. But you can see, I had done that. I had taken some off the back. It leaves, look at that. It leaves, oh la la, look at that. Okay, so either one end for small books, right? Like a bookend. But then I was looking at this closer. I noticed, look at that natural opening in the crystal. Now there's that one too. Haven't figured that out, what to do with that. Maybe put some paper clips through it, right? This as a item on your desk, right? As a rock hound, what could be any better than something like this to hold your tweezers? An apatite, either pencil holder or tweezer holder, whatever look at that. And that's natural. So, and you can see the natural, this is all natural crystal too. Go find another one. It's one of those deals that you see it, you're going to want it for yourself, but yet what a great gift idea that would make for another friend of yours that's a rock hound. And then you have that dilemma. Do I be generous in my heart and give it? Or no, do I keep it selfishly for myself because I know there'll never be another one? Well, you keep it for a while, like I did, and then you pay it forward. You pass it forward. That's, that way it's the best of both worlds, right? Now, the other cool thing is I did not spray this with my homemade, not my homemade, but, my store-bought spray enamel that will give it that total wet and polished look. I was going to leave it up to whoever gets it. That I often like, but the Raven, she oddly enough, I would normally be the natural one on this, but so she definitely doesn't like any of them sprayed. She likes the natural look. So I'll leave it up to you. Now remember, it can always be taken off if you do spray it with stuff. Other than that, a natural look is kind of cool. All right, price on this, it's one of those, you just wouldn't be able to find another one. It just happened to be all cut by chance and be for sale for $44. Yeah, $44. Not with the tweezer. I'll take that back. Thank you very much. Only $44. All right. Now, I am going to show you, since I bet you're wondering. Okay, so let me just go and to no item number. This is the goodie box, and this is truly just how I found this. Box and bags. Now, y'all said, for me to never know what I'm going to find new. And it happened. It just happened. So box and bags, and I happened to be looking for little bags, like I didn't have enough others laying around. So I finally decided, after seeing this box for a long time, listed like that, never having opened it, just laying around over the years, I decided to open it. Well, what does it have? Yeah, it looks like there's some bags in here, right? I get looking a little closer. Yeah, there's some bags. Yeah, there's some other little, boxes. And then there's this other bag, and I see stuff, and I start pulling out the stuff, and this is, I'm going to show you, and try not to faint and fall down like I about did. At some point, I had the wherewithal to think enough of this to put it in this, well-protected little case, and let me show you what I found. Yeah, look at this. It is exactly what it looks like. And it's not any of that Ethiopian smoke stuff. You can tell by the fire pattern. This is Lightning Ridge black opal, of as black as the base color is found in. It has the reds, it has all the colors that you want, and it's thick enough. You have some, and this sand is what tells me that it's not a rhyolite form of also of the kind found in Ethiopia. Also the fire pattern. Look at that. So there may be some crazing in it. It may be perfect just to be left as it is, because you see that natural conchoidal fracture, that leaves a polished finish. Why do I want to remove more of the stone unless I just wanted to clean the edges up? But why do that? Why not just keep it, wire wrap it like it is, or create a wax around it? Any number of things, or leave it like it is, or leave it like it is just as a specimen. Look at that. That made my day. Look, can you believe that? Can you believe that? I somewhat remember seeing this now. All right, so, and so it's been a while. That was it. So let's keep going. Look at this, moss on snow, and none of this can be for sale right now because it's all new. I don't have any inventory numbers. Moss on snow, carved Kuan Yin. We're just gonna go through these. Look at this, Goshenite from Goshen, Massachusetts, the original discovery of it. And this is really old stuff, but I don't think it came from there. I'll have to look more into it because I don't know. I don't really remember. So all that, Goshenite, which is clear beryl. Look at this, Burmese, purple, spinel. Tourmalines. One, and indicolite. Look at that, indicolite. I don't know. Oh, no, it may be a little chip. That's probably why it's in there. I think it's just a, what is that little flash of other color in that? See, I don't even know. Look at that. No, that thing's flashing some other color. I am going to have to do some further investigation. Look at this. A bag of tourmalines. A bag of tourmalines. And then a rosary with rhodolite. Rhodolite garnets. It's a rosary. And then let's see here. I think I saw a word. Raven's kyanite. She's not right here. We better rebag that. So look at her. She's got her kyanite picked out for herself. Look, and not too shabby. Oh, we better put that away. That was a long time ago when we did that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Better not be a zircon. Chipped. Okay, so that's why it made it in here for me to cut the chip out of it. But that's a really clean zircon, especially for being metamixed. And then look at black spinel caps. So you know, there you go. You guys will see some of this in the weeks to come in inventory because that's how we do it. We open odd boxes that are labeled wrong and then find something like that black opal. Oh, look at this. Whoa, hold on. Let's see real quick. Oh my. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so that's a crystal. Now, let me show you. Let's see if this gives us some idea. Oh, wow, look at that. That is a color greenish yellow, okay? And then looking at the stacked crystalline growth and then the surface. Oh boy, wouldn't that be something if it changed color? Thank you, sir. You know, that gives me an actual thought about that. My first thought was it's a green sapphire crystal. My second thought is I better look at that a little closer to make sure it's not a chrysoberyl crystal, which it absolutely could be. When boxes like this, when there's something such like that black opal in here, then why couldn't there be something else of great value? Like in that eudialyte box that we found, and in it was that hiddenite crystal. Stunning. All right, so that's difficult to follow up with, but let's just try. And I am going to really show you something amazing. It is item number, and I'm going to bring it right into the shot here. Item number 112-1023, 112-1023, and look at this. Look at this. This is from our private collection. It is going to be one of the finest malachite crystals you have ever seen. Malachite, crystallized malachite. And these crystals are so large that they are individually easily noticed. Yep, as close as we can there, Dave. And stunning. Simply stunning. Normally, malachite will grow in a banded form. It'll grow in a botryoidal form. It will have the fibrous malachite crystals where they grow all so close together that it looks like satin or silk. There's that form. But this is what you do not see. This, the entire specimen. Look at how large these are. They're giant. In the, oh yeah, Dave, perfect. In the world of malachite. Yeah, that's exactly where we need to be, Dave. To have crystals separated like this and not bound together by malachite in between, like the fibrous crystals are, is extremely rare. This is from the Moshamba West mine, and a very desirable, look at these, everything, location for this to come from. And this, as I rotate it around, might be considered the back. It doesn't matter because both sides of this piece are stunning. Look at, there's a little like vug, little cavity down in there. To have malachite crystals that are translucent to transparent, not opaque. We'll put some light behind these in a minute after we finish just this jaw-dropping look. Look at how, some are sprays, some are just nice acicular individual crystals. Let me get my little pointer out. And, I can hold this and touch it. They're not fragile. They're not like they're falling off by when you do touch it. Okay, look at this. Look at this little fan right there of crystals. And then you have individual ones like right there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And because of there's so many angles, the light, look at how long this one, the light reflects off of it like a starry night sky. Look. Where and when have you ever seen such a magnificent malachite specimen as this? This is a striking piece. And from what I can tell, I could not find any attachment point. So, even an area like this, maybe, but then I don't see anything really broken. All right, now I'm rotating it to the other side. Whoa, look at that. Look at that grouping of large malachite crystals. This is a one of a kind. I've been enjoying it. I have been enjoying it for a number of years. And this is, again, where I say, sometimes it's just time to let someone else enjoy it. I was only able to get this one piece. Oh, excellent job, Dave. Look at that. That's excellent. And see how I'm touching this? These crystals aren't falling off. So it's a very stable piece in that respect. And I was only able to get this if I took an entire flat of it. So in other words, to get what I considered really the one I was after, I had to, I mean, no, none of them were bad. A lot of them were the fibrous malachite specimens, which are all stunning. This, though, is the one that I was really after. And my goodness. Now let me see something here. Let me try to just backlight this a little bit, if I can. I know I was doing it on an individual basis. Let me see if this gives us any additional light information. Yeah, there we go. You can start seeing the light passing all the way through these crystals, like as if they were emeralds. And this is a piece, let me try one more thing here. Over on the edge, that is in excellent, excellent condition. Thank you, sir. You can see that the display potential on it is fantastic as far as how it looks. And from any distance, look at that. It looks extremely crystalline, extremely crystalline. In other words, there's no fibrous malachite look to any of it. Simply gorgeous. One last look at probably my favorite area on it is right here, right in here, Dave. Giant. In the world of malachite, those are giant sprays of individual malachite clusters. Look at that. Look at that. All right. I have an opportunity. I do not have any other one like this. I have enjoyed it. I am going to pass that along. I have really no idea what the value is on something like that, but I do know that pieces like that, especially the size, are rare. And it's certainly one of those pieces that you can put a huge price on, and dealers do, because they know there's not going to be another one that someone else is going to compete with you against. My only information I had, I went to, of course, the Mindat site, and I scrolled, and there was not a single one that could really hold themselves to this. They had some nice ones that had individual or little groups or clusters of crystalline sprays like this, but none of them were a double-sided, all crystal piece like this. And that told me right there that it was a rarity for that reason alone. All right. Here you go. Here's an excellent opportunity if you can swing it. Have an idea of a price in your mind, those that like the finer items, and then you're going to realize that only $338 is fantastic. $338 for a specimen that I would imagine, I don't know, $900, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. Absolutely. It's, again, one of those specimens that leaves nothing you have to apologize for. You know, like a nick or chip or, dealers get so picky about those things that this is, you'll have so much joy looking at this under magnification. I know I did. I spent way too much time and had forgotten just how beautiful it was. Item number 112, 1420, let's see, 112, 1423. And let's take a little cruise here to a southern state. And let me just get my flashlight here so I can. This came from a location that when a mine no longer produces, or an area, they call it, they don't call it like mined out or anything. They call it extinct. And I thought that that was always a kind of unique term to use, because I think of extinct like being no more, like a dinosaur. But I guess a mine can be of the same meaning. So let me make sure I gave you the right item number. Let's see, 112, 1423. Yeah. Okay, great. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Let's go to Tampa Bay, Florida. And wow, yeah, this piece in the private collection, because when I was working at the Harris Rock Shop in Sarasota, Florida, when I was 13 and rode my bike there, when I was 12 and 13, rode my bike 7 miles one way, and $1.75 an hour. And I didn't care, I loved it. And I turned around and spent all my money I made there. And I remember he got in a batch of Ballast Point Tampa Bay coral using the heaviest of gloves. I had the pleasure of getting to hose that material down and sort through it, and I remember that to this day. I remember it being really sharp, cutting my hands on it. Well, this piece, if you can see from the outside, would have been one of the softer, smoother ones, but the Tampa Bay material was very it wasn't like the Withlacoochee that would have hexagonal shapes from the coral. This was more branch-like in Tampa Bay, as you can see. So this piece, I don't know where the other portion was, but look what formed inside of it, and you can see where the opening of it really goes all the way around, and this is something I hadn't seen before in a formation. Look at back in the, it's like a boot. Look at those crystals. So this is like all druzy quartz, and I'd never seen anything like that. And imagine, so Ballast Point anymore, if you actually look it up in Tampa Bay, there's a little tiny dock there. You could never tell that they dug anything there. It's all water, it's all part of the bay. There is nothing that says coral was ever there. And so there is no more gathering. So anything from Tampa Bay already is rare and unique and collectible. So it is definitely extinct. But even if you were walking along the beach and saw something like that, you'd think it was nothing. You'd step over it. And look at what you'd be stepping over, what would be on the inside. Very beautiful piece, $36. Only $36, and that is, again, something that's one of a kind that I've ever seen, with the way that has formed and the opening like that. Really cool. Now, let me show you something else that this is, I don't know, just the way I kind of put together and display items. So we had been talking about galena. Let's look at item 1120923. 1120923. And we had been talking about galena, and we did it as the other weeks, what is this trivia? I have, let me set this up. I had put this on display in my cabinet, but I thought I will share it now. Let me show you. This is a galena crystal, and it actually does balance on all things that are level. And if not, it can be displayed many other ways. But I'm one, you know me. I like the crystals to balance as they are supposed to balance. The thing about galena, it is so heavy. This piece is so heavy. Look at that. Look at how beautifully shiny it is. So galena is just a lead sulfide. So it is the most common ore there is. Oh, let me show you. Look at the light passing through this apatite. Look at that. And then look at these little druzy crystals here. Look at the druzy. You can see those. That is so cool. And this is just where my saw cut was. Now, I did not spray this with the spray enamel, which you can do. It will actually cover up a lot of the saw cuts and give you that shiny, finished, wet look. And you can see I didn't do it on the back either. It would be beautifully done on that. So remember that piece I showed you earlier that was the hematite tweezer stand? I mean the apatite tweezer stand? Well, here is from another crystal similar to it, and you can see just how stunning the color is of that material. And this galena crystal will sit right on here. Look at that. Look at that. First time out, huh? So what a wonderful display if you want to display something like the galena on top of the apatite slice. Dare to be different, dare to be unique, step out, do something in a cabinet display. That way you get to display 2 items for the price of 1. And a lot of people don't have galena, believe it or not. And it's a common sulfide, the most common ore for lead. And if you had extra, I would tell you to go ahead and take a hammer to a piece of this, because it will splinter into many other cubic shapes. So it's isometric, and it will form a lot of other cubic shapes because it does splinter and break easily. So you don't have to use it on the apatite, but I thought what a neat idea that would be. And look at that extra. All right, so price on this, I'm not going to get so lucky to be able to display it that way twice, but it looks great that way as well. All right, how about this? Both pieces. Let me get the right price there. Both. Oh, okay. Both pieces for only $38. $38. All right, let me have a moment, pick up some of these things. I'll be right back. All right, we're bringing it on. We were talking about quartz and melting temperature of quartz, right? Remember, it is really hot. I doubt if you can melt it at home, but instead, why not get some tangerine quartz? And tangerine quartz is actually a quartz that really gets most of all of its tangerine flavor, let's say, from hematite, rust. If you're ever in doubt, just kind of associate, well, what does rust look like? Then you can apply that to your minerals and think, okay, well, what minerals create that? And you're going to go to, well, rust is made up of an iron oxide, right? Iron and water, it gets the oxygen from water, H2O. Combine the two, you get iron oxide, aka rust. And that is what has formed over the top of these crystals. Even the Diamond Hill mine in South Carolina, which I am close friends with one of the owners that was the original owners, and I have actually in the back behind me, you can see an incredible tangerine covered, or in other words, hematite covered piece from Diamond Hill. These from Brazil are known to be some of the best, though, because you start off with just a nice, beautiful, clear crystal, quartz crystal, and then you add and apply the hematite over the surface. Let's go in and show you some of the detail in the growth of the crystals here. When you can really see, look at these, how beautiful the formation of these are, and then how intricate and crystal growth on crystal growth is always aesthetically beautiful. So, like, look at this crystal. Let me get my pointer. Right here. Look at all the other crystals that have formed and grown on it. Or this one with these. And then you get these really tiny little crystals that will grow on the surface. Here's one right here. Let me catch the light on it and you'll see them. See these? All those little reflections? Those are all little quartz crystals. Here's one where allowed to grow, they get bigger. And then look at this pocket back in there. Look at that. That is really cool. Back in there to have the tangerine. Look at how well formed that crystal is. That's just gorgeous. Sometimes you'll get an iridescence on the surface of some of these. And ones that are this tangerine-y, if that's such a word, have additional value. Have additional value. Look at this. Like, look at that one particular crystal right there. That is, you can tell, just a perfectly clear quartz with the hematite over it, making a beautiful, look at that one. Crystal presentation, and that one. Some of these have some unique, unusual habits to some of the terminations that are different than other regular quartz. A really nice small to medium cabinet size specimen that really shows in so many ways some beautiful, beautiful crystalline formations for tangerine quartz. Price on this guy, it's an excellent value at only $68. $68. These specimens aren't inexpensive. I have been quite surprised at just how much some of them have been. But, you know, I'm going to make it right for you. Let's look at this. Item 110. Let's see here. Let me get out my magnification here. 110, 38, 23. And I have for you, let me, look at this, look at this. I thought it would be a good time, look at this, to put this color in there. There we go. Citrines next to tangerine quartz. Look at that. Now those are some, that's a valuable color in a citrine. These are match stones. They're 7x5s, and they are, let's look at some of these just randomly. Look at how really nicely cut they are. Yeah, look at that. No windows in those. A nice, strong color tone, and they're natural. If you look at them closer, you'll find, you know, inclusion, zoning. Yeah, there is a lot of lab-grown citrine in the market as well. But these, you have some beautiful, real deal. Here we go, the entire parcel. I can't believe this, 17 stones, $28. $28 for the entire parcel. You couldn't buy the rough to be able to cut those all for only $28. Look at that. Yep, that is sale priced for sure. All right, now, next I have item 1107-323. 1107-323. This is for those who want to accent their jewelry, or maybe just add to their collection something that's normally not affordable, but in this case is affordable. How about a diamond parcel? A diamond parcel. H to I in color. You can see the cotton background I'm using is actually a, it is not a white color. So it, when the diamonds still look nice and white against that, then you know these are nice stones. Also, the clarity, VS clarity, these are really clean, because if they're not, they will actually, it'll actually be visible very easily in baguette and emerald cut stones. These came out of the same ring, and they were channel set, just with a very, I think they were close enough to match. There might have been 1/10 of a millimeter off in length, but that makes it no problem still to do in a channel set piece to get them situated and very tight and get them edge to edge, or just use them for other individual stones. What I'm going to ask for these would be a price that a jeweler would want for one stone if you had to go in and replace it. True story. True story. Here we go. These, let's do an on sale opportunity, because Papa needs a new tooth. How about this? Okay, so just doing some ciphering in my head. So why not at only at 200 a carat at 88 points? That would be only $176. I don't know what per carat this amount will be, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Hopefully someone's going to take advantage of it. $158 for all of them. That's why I said one stone. If you had to have it replaced, a jeweler would ask you for that much. 88 points, and so there's 6 stones there. So that is an average of just under 15 pointers. 15 pointers. And you're talking about getting all of them for only $158. So, wow. Wow. If you didn't even know what you wanted to do with them now, it would be worth it just to put them up until you did at that price. At that price. That's outstanding. Let's look at 109 4923. 109 4923. And this was another opportunity that if you're gambling for a discounted price, well, you might be on the winning side of the bet here, because again, I am willing to wheel and deal. Look at this parcel of stones. 10 stones. This is the most common size diamond used when you get beyond milli diamonds, which usually start, milli diamonds are usually considered below 10 points. So we have 10 stones, a carat 10 total weight. That averages 11 points a diamond, and they measure 3 millimeters. When you know dimensions of diamonds, and there's a formula that I can plug in, all I have to do is measure the depth, which it's easy to do when they're loose like this, and I can plug that formula in, and it will spit out, if they are perfectly cut, the weight that they should be for the diameter. And they are. These are cut exactly the way they're supposed to be. A 3 millimeter diamond should be 11 points, and that's what these across all of them average. So you know you're getting an accurate average when you have this many stones to do it against. Now look down, straight down on the diamonds. When you look down on them, as I turn this, you will notice that they are matched in their cut. That there is no fisheye, which is a poorly cut diamond. There is no diamond that reflects light differently than the others. It would stand out. It would stand out. Look at the clarity. And I know most of these are actually VS. I just threw SI in there. It'd be SI1, just in case there was something that would be in there just to cover it. So, and you can see also how white they are. These are, you know, these are just beautiful. And there's enough of them, you can create an entire piece of jewelry or use them for accent stones for many different other pieces. I often would use a diamond or a baguette or like a 10-point diamond in the bail of an item so that it just would dress a piece up just by putting one in the bail. Here we go. At a carat 10 in this kind of quality and clarity, you know, if I was to go to my regular wholesale supplier, they would want in the neighborhood of around, and this is true story, in the diamond market, around 750 to 800 a carat. So you're talking about $75 to $80 per stone. That's what my cost would be. Then of course it'd be if you're, you know, in an environment that going to a retail jewelry store, they would at least double it. And that's how it works. Except you're getting the opportunity to get some stones. And the other person that's been buying diamonds on here has been, you know, I know Miss Gabby got those emerald cuts. I was so glad to see those sell because they were so inexpensive, especially in that particular type cut. Take advantage of these, whoever is out there buying these up, because I am going to offer these for the lowest price I have ever made them. And wow. That's going to be $224. $224. That's a carat 10, remember. So that's pretty much right at $200 a carat. $200 a carat for diamonds like that. Take advantage of that deal. You will not find a better one anywhere, anyhow, anyplace. And like I said, I wouldn't even do it for that unless I wasn't motivated by Dave's comment when asking me when I was going to get my tooth fixed. That's all it was. And I said, fine, Dave. Pick on me like that. You just wait. So, the sale's on Dave. And in the end, I'll be thanking him. Because I do need a dude too. All right, next. Look at this. Item 1120623. 1120623. And look at this. Comes with the stand. Look at this. Look at that. Okay, this, I haven't shown anything like this because I was down on my personal ones. And this is one of our personal spheres. And you'll know why as we look at this. Our personal iris sphere. And when we were, when we bought a lot of these, we just had to kind of take a scoop of them. We didn't get to pick, we just grabbed a whole bunch of them. And then later, you know, because sometimes it's rude to go through and pick the best when they're just giving you a flat price kind of thing. So there were some that just stood out. And this was one of those that really stood out. Now, by far, the majority of inclusions you see in quartz is water, a thin veil of water. And it's that and the difference between the quartz and the water in the refractive index that creates some amazing iris rainbows depending on the angle. And you may spin one around a long time and not see anything, then all of a sudden you will hit just the right spot and it will glow. you can see there is all kinds of miniature ones. And Dave, cut your light off for a moment and let me see if, here we go. So in a single light, let's look into this. And these, wow, there we go. Remember, it is quartz spheres that the old, oh, look at that, look at that. That's, remember the sphere has been ground around from a larger crystal. So you can get partial phantoms in a crystal, and then you'll be able to figure out how it was actually oriented originally. But the old gypsy tellers and whatnot would use quartz spheres that intentionally they wanted ones with irises or reflections, because it was in those that they could create what they saw as your future, good, bad, or indifferent. And there's so many different worlds in there. Like, look, so look at the one right in the middle, dancing in the middle of what looks like a big sheet of aluminum foil. And you just want, look at that, how it's just suspended there on its own. Then as we turn it, you can see there's a veil there, and then that single dancing piece that's reflecting on the backside. Wow. There's so many different, look at that. You can also find water bubbles. So look out for anhydros. Look at that same one down there. This, very cool piece. Thank you, sir. I really loved, and it was one of my favorites. And there is a particular angle on this that I have not hit yet, but it's there, and I'll leave it to you to find it. But you know, it can be just a simple matter of turning it just the right way, and then it looks like an opal of the finest of orders. But look at this back there. Anyway, this one with the stand, only $36. Only $36 on that one. Now, I have one more. It is item number 1120823, I think. Yep. And it is a little smaller, so I'll let you see it in relationship to that one, how it's just a fraction of a teeny bit smaller. It will come with a stand as well, and the price on this one is going to be only $28. Only $28. And wow, look at all those irises.
Checking that item, is that the right item?
Oh, let's see. No, I must have said it is 1120823. No, 1120523. Sorry about that. And it was only $28 on this one. And look at all these. Yep, that's it. Look at all these little irises in this guy. And then look at the bigger one. Look at the bigger one across this larger plate right there. Look at that. And again, another item that you can spin around and look at for a long time, especially under magnification. And remember, a lot of these inclusions are just water vapor. Look at that. And wow. Anyway, those were my personal picks out of a whole bunch of others. Only $28 on that guy. Now, I have item here that this is the one I was referencing about for Miss Penny. So Miss Penny, item number 112-1323. If everyone would honor letting Miss Penny have a look at this, and if she give her a couple days if she wants it, and after that, if she doesn't, then it'll be open. But you won't be able to get it behind the scenes because I'm going to let inventory know that this is for the one set aside for Miss Penny in particular. So this is that stunning lepidolite. After we talked about lepidolite so much, she missed out on those others, and I looked and saw that I had a couple others. This is unusual because it has quartz crystals with it, and that definitely adds to it. Look at this. Look at those quartz crystals on that, and hence $68. $68 on this one. It's a large size, and it has some stunning crystals of, look at that, well-formed lepidolite, which is, of course, a lithium mica, but this is in the rare yellow color that it was only recently discovered. And you can see that this has crystals of quartz with it as well, adding to the aesthetics and to the multi-mineral collectability factor. Look at both sides, both sides. So a wonderful, wonderful specimen. And if I know it's a little bit more than the other one was, so if you want it, fine. If not, I'm sure it'll find a home. Now, this next one I have is, I guess, available for anyone, but Miss Penny, if you want this one, you're welcome to it. And then leave the other one for someone else to take advantage of. This is item number 112-0823. Let me make sure I have that correct. 112-0823. And you can see it is a smaller version. Much smaller, no quartz, but a wonderful specimen nevertheless. And this one, very affordable. It is really still a excellent value because the yellow lepidolite, this material is going for big money. Only $28 on this. $28. And the nice thing about this is it is extremely well crystallized. Look at these formations, and that helps add value. You can see the well stacked classic look to the mica, except you have to wrap your head around it being yellow instead of the grayish shiny muscovite blades we're so used to. These won't peel as easily as muscovite, but you still can separate them when needed. Look at that. See, that's what makes this a really nice specimen, is that classic book look. Like the pages of a book for only $28. All right, let me put away a couple things and I'll be right back. All right, now, we know Harry's wanting that piece of rough I have of some Burmese peridot. Burmese peridot comes in a kind of a range of colors, but one color it doesn't come in is that overly yellow color that leans too much on the yellow. The Burma material tends to have a really nice green. It can vary in that green color. And it all depends on how it's cut and the shade, of course, that it is to start with. Look at this. This is a beautiful step cut, and you have a modified kind of a custom cut on the crown of this. Now, as we look at this, you can see it has a scroll style mounting, and it's quite deep. August birthstone. August is coming up. Look at the weight, 10.54 carat, going over the 10 carat mark. And remember, we talked about one of the best ways to always be able to tell a natural peridot is it has such a strong birefringence. In other words, the way it splits the light, it splits it between the high and the low is great enough to often cause the doubling of the facets on the pavilion. So when you look through it above, the facets on the back will actually look a little bit doubled, like often they are with the blue zircons. Now there's a low and high zircon, so don't be confused with that. If you're looking into your red zircons and they're not doubling, that's because they're a low zircon. They have a low refractive index, a low birefringence, a low specific gravity, and a lower hardness, and why they're called low zircons. Green zircons will be metamicked due to the color green that was created from natural earth radiation, which takes the crystalline form out of the stone and thus leaves it more of a singly refractive gem. So this, with the 8 prongs around it, it will certainly protect it. Let me show it against my ruby, since many of you know the relative size of it. Look at that. What a great, what a great look. This is a world-class stone. It has only one little veil inclusion in it, but that also tells you it's the real deal, because just as in that piece of rough, it has the same exact type of veil inclusion, hence also helping to confirm the similarity of the Burma origin of it. This is a beauty, and keeping it over 10 carats, that's a good thing. You want those big weight points like that to be retained when possible. Price on this really would be as much as the 14 karat mounting costs anymore with the way gold is priced. I am going to sale price this guy. So if you had waited, you're going to save some money on this one. Again, because I'm serious. I have a need, as you know, and wow. Okay, so I am just going to make this. Lucky sevens all the way across. 777, $777. That is it. And when you think about the 10 karat plus weight, or think about what the semi mount costs. Okay, so that semi mount, I am sure, would be $400 to $500, if not more, probably $500. But let's say if it's even only $400. So then you have $377 in a 10 karat peridot. You're paying $35, $37 a carat. That's one way to break it down. If you put $500 in what the mounting would cost you, then you have $277 in a 10 carat. So you're down to around $25 a carat. Unheard of in a 10 carat gem like that. So lots of ways you can cut that pie up, but every way you do it, you come out with it being a deal for you. Wow. All right, now, I'm going to take a quick moment here because I've always always tell you what I'm going to do and never get a chance to do it. I'm going to stop for a moment and just show you a quick little lesson about turquoise. So take advantage of that peridot. Turquoise is the December birthstone, and let's just start with looking at that one for a moment. While you're glancing at that one, I am going to take out probably two of the most impressive pieces of turquoise you're going to ever see. And that is these two blocks. Look at these blocks of turquoise. Okay, look at the two colors. I had a choice of probably 50 different shades. Let's look at this closer. If I cut a cabochon out of, let's say, an area like that, not many would think that there was anything wrong with the stone. In an area like that, include a little black, maybe an area over here. Take your pick. A little more natural look, maybe add some of the matrix area. Cut a stone from there. Your choice, because all of this entire block and this one, let's say you like the greener shades of turquoise. Look at that. You could cut a whole stone out of that. You can mix it up with matrix, making it look really genuine. Both of these blocks are a combination of reconstituted turquoise, in other words, turquoise that's ground up, mixed with polyester resins, so mixed with epoxy resins. They're fancy resins. And then under pressure, and you don't even have to use so much pressure, just put them into a mold. As you can see, these using the same mold, and they probably did apply some pressure to them, and let them dry, and you have blocks of fake turquoise, basically. There's turquoise here, there's turquoise, but it is, as soon as you start cutting it, you're going to smell the resins. If you have ever cut turquoise and you smell what smells like a plastic smell, then you are cutting resin-laden turquoise. It's one of the ways, easy ways to be able to tell what it is. Look at the colors. Like I said, all the colors that you want. Fake turquoise. Yes, you could call it, there's some turquoise, there's going to be turquoise, powdered turquoise mixed in, so it all blends in there. And there's going to be some of these hunks that are turquoise and whatnot. But believe me, it is a ripoff compared to whatever you're paying for it. It has really no value. They can create as much as they want of this stuff. Forget it. You don't want it. Now, let me show you this. This is genuine turquoise, but there's something wrong with it. What is wrong with this turquoise? And how do you tell that something is wrong? Well, if you look closely at this, you can see these darker areas of blue. These darker areas of blue happen to follow inclusions, happen to follow natural inclusions, or where you can physically see the pits. Let's follow this one. See these little pits along here? And then it swoops back along here. That is left over, and this is darker because the dye absorbed a greater amount into these areas. This is dyed turquoise. And you can see these, and they follow inclusions that break the surface. That's how the dye reaches into the material and concentrates along those areas that it's able to fill in more because of the porosity. See, you can correspond those to the darker areas. And it can become real prevalent in ones that have surface breaking inclusions all the way across, but this one is certainly prevalent and obvious enough for you to be able to see. It's also not a signed piece. It is sterling silver, but it's not even signed that, but you can tell just by looking at the sterling silver. It's not a signed piece. It's a poorly made bale. So they would treat a genuine piece of turquoise with more reverence than that and use a better and more natural look to the piece, because this is kind of a cheap look overall. All right, so there is a quickie lesson on a couple of things to watch for in the turquoise world, and now we'll get back to the real stuff. Let me show you a bonanza of a crystal. This is item 112-0423. 112-0423, and it may be one of the biggest of its kind that you've seen. And again, I've enjoyed this for some time, and it's time to pass it on. Look at this. Look at this stunning size pagoda calcite crystal. It is from my collection. It's from a quarry that you may not be familiar with, but it's a well-known quarry in Missouri, and for producing this type of calcite, which is kind of along the pagoda, or they also call it hammerhead when it has this kind of termination up here. See this triangular termination like that. Look at this. Look at those stair steps and how that has formed. Look at how large it is. And look at, you could almost call it like a phantom in a way, because there's certainly crystal growth, original dogtooth scalenohedron crystal inside this, and a couple different colors of it. And you can faintly maybe see it on the interior here. And then you had this entire other growth of calcite to the outside. This is, look at that, a marvelous example of, look at that. Look at, and it self-displays. Wow. Look at that, and look at my hand, how big that is. That is an impressive piece. It's only $77. Only $77. It displays in many different angles. Look at that on the other side. Oh yeah, I do see the inside crystal. See it right there? Wow. How cool is that? A gnome?
A nose.
Oh, it does. It does. Oh, I see that. It does look like a nose. As Ossoff goes to blow his nose, it brought it to mind. It is that time of year. Even I am getting some allergies, which I never used to before I had COVID. COVID took my life from me. All right, let me show you. This was a made in the USA crystal. Let me show you something else. If you collect USA crystals, then this is one that you need to have. Item 112-1123. 112-1123. And take a look at this. Take a look at this. Yeah, we've seen some beautiful pieces of pyrite, beautiful cubes coming from Spain, right? But there is nothing wrong with this from the Glendon Mining District in Moore County. Know right where this baby came from. And double-sided. Double-sided. Look at all the crystals in this as we come in closer on it. Wow. Wow. These are, look at how well formed. So if you wanted, and of course you wouldn't want to, but let's say you did, if you wanted to extract a whole bunch of these cubes It'd be easy to do. You can easily pop these out from this material. Look at that. Look at how many of them. You can sometimes see just only a corner of them. But this is full of them. Look at, and with that large center one stealing the show for attention with all these other accents around it. This is one of the finest pyrite pieces I have seen coming out of anywhere in the eastern United States especially. It really is. And you know how much I love North Carolina geology. See, I'll start talking in that southern. Yep, easy to do because I'm start thinking I'm with some good old boys. Let's go in a little closer here because there is just gobs of like this guy right here. When I just take a look at one crystal, look at how well formed these are. These 4 cubes are some of the largest in one plate of them I have ever seen. And so if you're collecting anything made in the USA, this is something that you have to have. You really do. Pyrite is probably, look at that one. Pyrite is probably, if you were to ask people different minerals they're familiar with, pyrite would be at the top of the list. They might say quartz, but pyrite would be because of fool's gold. They may say fool's gold and maybe not always say pyrite, but they know pyrite. They know fool's gold. And so the association, easy to make, and it's easy to see. Look at that. This actually displays rather well. Of course, you want that big one. I want to try something right there. Right there. Look at that. Look at that. Very cool. How about this? How about this? I have this guy, never been shown before, but it is on sale. And we are making that sale price. You're going to love it. Only $77. $77. And it's one of those, you know, try to find another one. Now, I will find something like another one. Let's look at item number 912619. 912619. And let's go back to North Carolina, except let's go. Do you know this county where this came from is actually all the way near Raleigh? Almost near Raleigh. I thought it would be more towards the mountains, but no. Now this one is in a little bit more of near Asheville, Jackson County. So you're getting a little bit more into the mountainous areas. Here's another wonderful pyrite specimen. Look at this, a rare collector specimen. You have large pyrite cube right there. Look at that. And I'm talking about nice and large. This would be one, nah, I don't think you'd want to quarry it out of there, you know, I don't know. But look at this big band of pyrite right across there. And then that huge crystal right there. You have another large crystal right here. There's another one right there. I love it. I love it. And I have this one. Let's see who's going to absolutely take advantage of that one. For ready? Oh, wow. $18. $18 on that. Can't go wrong. Just can't go wrong at all at $18 on that guy. Now, I have, let's see, another goodie for you here. Let me move that out of the way. Let's look at another made in America. Can't go wrong. Boy, I tell you what, we are getting even here outside some of that that smoke from the Canadian woods burning. I hate it for Canada. I hate it for the New England. What a mess. And I hate it for all that lost fire, that wood that's burning, and all the little animals that live in the forest. That's a waste too. But, you know, when you fly over Canada and you look down, you see nothing but lakes and forests that stretch with no people, no cities for thousands of miles. I love to take the Canadian Railroad. I think of Gordon Lightfoot when I say that. But from one end to the other, that would be a neat trip to make, and just look out the window and watch the trees go by. Mother Nature. Item number 1018721. And this is a, look at this, a starry night sky. And then as you turn it around, it has, boom, look at that bonus crystal. Look at that. That is a pagoda piece, and it has a really nice crystal termination there. It is Missouri, from beautiful piece from Missouri and Reynolds County, where so many of these great specimens come from. And there is a bonus with this. Let me show you. It's got these neat little pockets on the back, and each of these little vugs is full of additional crystals, which is kind of neat to look at and see. See those? So you can imagine how this is in a scaled down size. As we look at these a little closer, you can then imagine the open little pockets like that were bigger. So everything happened just on a bigger scale. So you get a bigger opening and you get a bigger formation. Now, everything on here is something. There, look at the calcite and look at that incredible termination. Then you have these dark specks. They're just not there as dirt. Nope. They are hematite, little hematite crystals with this, which is additionally unique. And it is a made in the USA piece, which, look at that, nothing wrong with that. That is beautiful. I bet that fluoresces. I didn't actually check it, I normally do. I bet it does, that would be neat. Price on this guy, I have this on an extra super sale price, and am going to offer this entire specimen for $28. $28. I am going to see just how many of you really know your deals when you see something like that at that price. Now, I have been wanting to show those trilobites I have back here. So you know what? I'm going to. I'll be, let's take a break and I'll be right back. Okay, I can tell you, I have not shown these in a year, 2 years, maybe even longer, because not only is they heavy for everyone that carries them, so including the girls, but a lot of you have liked these when I've shown them, and this is one of the, if not the largest pair I have. Look at this. Look at my hands. Look at my hands. These are genuine. These are real. These are 400 million years old. I even know the exact species of trilobite. Trilobites were some of the very first animals with compound eyes, and you can see that in even the fossil record, and you can see right there they are still related to this day to a very, very old ancestral living species to this day, and that would be the horseshoe crab. Now, very few of us, if you've ever wandered the beach for any length of time, can say you haven't seen one, having grown up in Sarasota, Florida. Yes, horseshoe crabs actually to Chesapeake Bay gather to mate, and there's hundreds of thousands of them covering the shoreline there. It is a animal that is a true dinosaur. It survived the KT extinction boundary. It survived multiple extinction level events throughout the course of its 400 million years. And as far as its evolution got, was something that looked not much different than this does now, and that's the horseshoe crab. Just like the alligator survived. It was the only animals that survived the impact of the dinosaur-killing meteor were sea creatures for the most part, and these did. Now, there were a lot of different species of trilobite, and this one, I know with a little research and help, I know the exact species, which is rare. You seldom often get that when you purchase them. It's the Cambropalus telesto, but it's going to be in your information that you get. So this is the positive and negative image of it. So if I put these two together, they actually go very well together, and that's how they fit, one inside the other. Look at that. So now the stands, I am giving such a good deal on the fossils, I can't include the stands, but I'm sure you can come up with and find some stands that will be more to your liking anyway than these, and that would work better for you. These are large. These are large. These are impressive. These become an object of art in your home. Up on, some shelves. They will be talked about on the mantle. They are large. They are going to be something that everyone that walks in your home will ask you about, and put them in the entrance foyer. A lot of my specimens, when I had my jewelry store, a lady came in and she bought every earth tone specimen I had before she told me why. She was the appointed director of furnishing the presidential room of a Hilton hotel that was being built on Lake Oconee several years ago. And she, I thought, was actually brilliant. She wanted to decorate it out in earth tones that were basically fossils. And she, through multiple references, finally got around to finding out about my place of business that had such things. And it was about $6,000 or $7,000 later, she cleaned me out of all, and I just remember her picking the big stuff like this, the showy stuff, the things that really looked good. Now, I'm going to give you a price on these that was not the price that she got. This, I could not replace them for anymore because of the large size that they are. And these have very little reconstruction. Some have a lot of reconstruction that they do on them, but these have very little. And when you see these well-defined plates on the back there, that's a good, and the eyes being defined are good signs of fossilization. That was a great replication of the original animal. Price on these, let's put them on sale and do the pair for only $88. $88. That is a sale price indeed. Indeed. Okay, now I'm going to put something out and let you be looking at it while I take those away. This is another made in America, not too far away either. Item 104-9922. 104-9922. Now, you know, in the eastern United States, we sometimes are limited in our mineral collecting that we can do compared to out west. So let me put that right there as I take these away. And this specimen right here is an amazing rarity because the mine is extinct. I like using that word now. And it went extinct back in the 60s. I mean, it hasn't been mined in a long time. There's a series of counties in North Carolina that's called the Zircon Belt, where zircons were found and discovered. And this is one of them. This is North Carolina zircon and microcline feldspar. And it is from the Jones mine. It's a rare collector specimen. And I feel fortunate. I was able to get an entire flat of this material. Look at how well formed that zircon crystal is. Look at the termination. Perfect four sides. And it is, I'm sure, doubly terminated on the other side if you were to extricate this out of here. And you can see that somebody did pretty good at transforming this piece and removing some of the microcline. So look, microcline, one of the feldspars that claims to be a moonstone, and you can see easily that adulorescence reflecting from that particular crystal. Look at all the crystals when you get to looking at this and realize that these are big microcline crystals that have these faces reflecting back and looking very much like a moonstone. And along the way, look at this, zircon, 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 zircon. You have dotted with zircons. And again, what does it always make me wonder? How many are inside of it still? Always very tempting to split these open and look further in them, or to break them down to get and expose a zircon crystal totally by itself. But in general, a lot of people, of course, like the specimen with the zircon in the matrix, like you see here. Yeah, you can't get another one like this, Jones mine. This is a special piece, believe me. Look at these, I just noticed these little openings. I saw some crystals. There we go. Oh, yes. There is, and I think on some of these that some epidote can be found I'm not sure if this is one of them, but I do see maybe a little bit of green. I'll let you have the fun and explore this further. It certainly has, look at that. So it's worth it just for that. You know what? I'm going to make this a crazy sale price. I love zircon, and this is zircon from North Carolina. Isn't that cool? Here we go. I'm going to do this and make someone a deal. $38. That does not reflect the real value of that. $38 does not reflect the actual value of that. And we have one last one to show you. And as we used to do, we used to end on a zeolite. Let's do that again. We haven't done that in a while. Item 106 2522. 106 2522. Closing the show with a zeolite. Look at this beauty. And this is a stunning specimen because of everything it has going on with it. Indian stilbite and apophyllite. So look at these. Look at these. You have these beautiful peach stilbites as we come in closer and look at those. In a, looks like a classic bow tie formation in one of those, and then beautifully formed. Look at that. That's the termination. That's a extremely well formed, actually almost perfectly formed apophyllite. Stunning. And look at the other apophyllites you can see along here also. Really stunning piece because it is on snow quartz. That's what it looks like. These are all little beautiful druzy bed of quartz. And you have a basalt here, and if there's any green back here, then it's celadonite. And what a specimen. What a specimen. Won't come with the stand, but I'm sure you can figure something out. I have this sale priced, all of that. And remember how inexpensive others have told you my zeolites are. And this is one of those, the same thing. And it is going to be only $38. $38 for that look. All right. That's it for today. Let me get some trivia questions together and I'll be right back. Okay, excuse me, trivia time. Let me see, yep. By the way, since I mentioned it earlier, I'll point to it. Right there is that specimen that is outstanding. We've offered it for sale, and since then, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll sell it. But that is from Diamond Hill Mine. It is one of the most amazing tangerine quartz specimens. And if you notice, there's a portion of it at the bottom that is the natural white crystals. So geologically, something occurred that removed the iron oxide on the outside of those crystals in that spot. Now, I can take that and I can take it home and I can use chemicals and I can strip all of that iron oxide off of there. And on the other side, it's manganese oxide. It's the beautiful black crystals. It's an amazing specimen. And then all you have, though, is white. I see a lot of people do that. I see a lot of people from this is old material because Diamond Hill, you know, Raven's been there. I actually haven't been there. And ever since my friend doesn't own it anymore and other people do, there's just a lot of hard work and not a lot of goods to be found there anymore. A lot of it's flooded and difficult. It's all mud. Anyway, put it this way, it's easier to go to my friend's basement and pick and choose what I want. And so that piece I cut the bottom off of, so it sits really nice and it's stunning. So I may show it, I may not. I may keep it, but it looks good just back there. So anyway, if you were wondering what I was referring to earlier, that's it. Now, those are the trilobites. Now, I will take those and I'll put them with all the other things I showed, and they will stay up actually in the vault for 3 to 4 shows worth of time, making it available for you to purchase and be shipped right out. All right, today's trivia questions revolve around things that we talked about or mentioned in this show. There's going to be 3 questions this week. Yep, 3 questions. So let's hope we get a lot of participation and a lot of correct answers. Because this week, well, I tell you what, it helps those when others don't participate. It really limits the winner. I was really pretty much down to one choice. So anyway, here we go. Ready? Question number 1. What is the name of the living fossil related to the extinct trilobite that we showed today? So what is the name of the still living fossil that is related to the trilobites of hundreds of millions of years ago? All right, that's question 1. Question 2. Name a doubly refractive gem discussed in today's show. Name a doubly refractive gem discussed in today's show. That should be an easy one. Question number 3. And this is one that, you know, I learned kind of late in my gemology career, so to speak. And in other words, I was, you know, probably 40 years ago. I was probably in my early 20s when I found out what a low zircon means. So that leads me to the question. Name 3 properties that a low zircon has in reference and relative to a high zircon. So name 3 properties that a low, what is considered a low zircon has that is lower than what's considered a high zircon. And there are 2 groups of zircons, and there is a distinct difference between a high and a low zircon, and it's really something that you need to know. And next week, after the answers, I will just delve into that a little bit more again, because it's actually something important, especially if you like the zircon family at all. Something you definitely need to know. So name 3 properties that a low zircon has that's lower than a high zircon. All right. Good luck to all of you, and I hope that those of you in New England, like so many of you, Miss Barbara, we didn't hear from her this week. Maybe she's duct taped up her cracks in her door, and remember, Miss Barbara's in Brooklyn. So yeah, I want to hear how she's doing. That is does not look like a pleasant situation at all. It's worked its way somewhat down here and leaving hazy skies, and where I live, that's not normal, you know, up in the clear mountains and the hills. So anyway, do what it takes to not damage your health and your breathing, and that sounds like a good excuse for me to stay indoors, right? All right. So good luck to you on the trivia, and I'm glad I got in a little bit of educational time there. We'll see if we can't sneak in a little bit more along the way, because there's a lot of things that I still want to cover with you that I haven't been able to. All right, so send in those answers if you want, or just send in comments. You don't have to answer the trivia. It's just something fun we do, and we give away good stuff along the way, and just like for you to participate if you want. But if not, just enjoy the show as you have been. I so appreciate all of you, more than you will ever know. I really do. So hopefully with your help, I'll get a new tooth, maybe some more than one, and maybe I'll smile more again. God bless all of you. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Cheers.